Hello, hello, hello. Hello. All right, let me type this in. Hello, everybody. I remember when we used to do that intro back in the back on the old videos. We wait till one person shows up, and I'm gonna go get me some water. Just waiting for a few people to show up. Please type in the chat if you can hear me when you show up. As soon as you get notified. I always hate the little awkward part, like when you start off and you haven't, put it out there for a while for the reminder to get to people. Sometimes it takes a while for the reminder to get to people, and then you got that awkward space where you're waiting for one person to show up, and you got like 8 or 9 things to think about. Oh yeah, infinite plane. I wanted to do your wrench too, and man, I wish I knew how to do this. All it's giving me the option to do is put you in timeout. Oh shoot, man. I'm gonna have to get that. I'll get it situated as soon as I'm done with this. I will um, take care of your wrench, okay, buddy? What's going on, Amanda? Man, this is good, man. Already good. Look, I was late today, right? And I didn't want to say this. You all know what happened, but I was like 10 minutes from starting, and I get worn out, guys. And it's not necessarily the amount of work that goes into it, because trust me, I get just as many calls when I don't stream as when I do, especially the ones like, hey man, are you going to go live? Which I appreciate. Trust me, like I appreciate when people are asking me, hey, what's up with you? And so you know, seeing that makes me feel good that, like, at least I was missed or whatever, right? But what wears you out is not the actual work of the stream, right? Because that's, pretty manageable, right? What wears you out is the consistency, right? Every single day, never missing, right? Like I really have an admiration for people that are able to do a stream every day, same time, and just, for years on end, be able to do it, and, miss very few, streams or whatever. And so, man, I'm just happy, man. Does anybody feel like, they want to join the stream? Because this is what I'm really after today, right? Is um, any kind of like suggestions for the show, any new truths that people are looking into that they're like, wow, this is pretty interesting, and I want to get it out there and tell some people about it, or certain truths or that people think that aren't talked about enough, um, that kind of thing, or maybe a story of like how you became a truther and what it did for you spiritually, right? Or I'm making the road real wide here because I want to hear about, like, if everybody's experience with the truth community is the same as mine, and so, like, I know that it all leads to the same spot, right? I mean, of course, there's two ways to go when you find out all of the truth, and that's either with God or you go against God, and you take the good with the bad, whatever whatever your choice bears, whatever fruit that bears, that's what you get, and so yes, in the truth community there's probably two splits, right? It seemed like there's a lot more than that, but it's really one of two ways to go. And so, yeah, I'm doing well, BB. Thank you for saying that, for asking me. That really makes me feel happy that you asked me that. And thank you, Clutch Bear and Infinite Plane and uh, Amanda, of course, and More Than a Flame, Joel. Thanks for being here. And of course, Infinite Plane. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, you know, it always seems like the good ones show up. You know, I'm used to always AJ Blunt being the first one here because, you know, I guess he works in the morning. It works out that way, you know. But does anybody want to come up, right, and dive into some stuff that like maybe we're not looking at enough, or that we should be more aware of, or on the lookout for, or maybe you just want to bring up a topic in the chat and you know we could talk about that. I don't know, you know, but I would love to drop the link. So for anybody that's brave, right? Let me know if I could drop the link. But right now, I'm gonna go grab some water and put on my air conditioning real quick, and I'll be right back in like I don't know, like 2 minutes. All right, not even 2 minutes, like 30 seconds. Yeah. All right, I feel a lot better. I probably should have done this before, but like when you miss a stream, right? Uh, you know, you kind of want to like make up for that stream, right? And so it's not something you could just click on and just you know, turn out a stream, a show or whatever. You got to prepare for it, or else it'll be a real stinker, you know. And so I did want to take some time to prepare for it, but yeah, I want to drop the link. Who wants to come up? Oh, AJM's here. Cool, man. You know what? I'm gonna drop the link, man. For any of you brave souls out there, look, you know what? This is gonna bring me some grief to drop this link, probably, but it's gonna be worth it if one of you guys clicks it, because that's what I want, is for somebody to come up here and to talk to me. And if you've never talked to me before, and it's like gonna be all awkward and weird because like, you know how we all are. We hide behind our little dot on the screen, and you know it's all weird to talk to somebody for the first time, especially if we've been like texting and communication, right? It's weird, right? Well, it's only awkward for like 1 second, and then you know it won't be awkward after that. You know, it just seems like it will be, you know, but it's not. And not that feelings aren't valid, of course, you know, right? But it really won't last that long, I promise. Especially how I am. I'm a big goof, you know, and I'll take the pressure off immediately. So there it is. I think I put it out there. We're gonna see if we have any brave souls out there. But even if no one wants to come up, right? You know, just put down some stuff like truth topics that we're not talking enough about. Are we not talking enough about the jab? And you know, do you want to go over like the fact that like, do we go over Koch postulates and talk about the isolation of the virus and all that, like whether or not it can even be isolated to show that it causes disease? Do we want to talk about uh, you know, the ingredients in the potion, right? I mean, I'd like to know that, right? I think I'm aware of some of them, right? What we think that if there is no dis-ease, right, then what is the vacation, right? I don't know exactly what's beeping right now. I'm going to go ahead and decline that. I don't know where that phone call is coming from, but I just got a phone call. But yeah, like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, James, man. I was just right before I was about ready to start the stream, you know, like I fell out, man. Yeah. And I just pushed it too hard, you know. Like sometimes I'll wake up in the night, you know, so you know, I don't sleep like a whole chunk at a time, like 7 or 8 hours or whatever. It's more like, you know, 2 hours here, 2 hours there. and I just keep going. I just, I'm always doing something or talking to somebody, or, most of the time, oh, hey, Darlene. Most of the time, after the show, if somebody calls, they really just want me to listen, because they're probably tired of hearing me talk, basically. Except for Joel, like, we get pretty passionate when we talk about stuff, and I know that I irritate him sometimes because, but we have good conversations that lead to truth, which is what you want. I mean, this is the thing, right? Would you want a friend, right, that's gonna let you walk around with a big old booger on your cheek and, oh yeah, you look great, everything's great. This is it's your day, everything's gonna be awesome, and I have nothing negative to say about you, blah blah blah, right? Or do you want a friend that's gonna be like, look, man, you got some stuff on your face, man. I'm not trying to be irritating, man, but it is all over your face. And no, you're not. Even when you wipe it, it's still there. Like, yeah, that's annoying, right? That's annoying to hear that, right? But which one is really your friend? Is the one telling you, hey, man, it's about time that you scrub your face off, because that's going to help you in the future, right? That's going to help you relate to people in the future, right? You're going to be better, And hey, man, look, I could be either one. Look, if you want me to be your cheerleader and say, hey, look, it's all good. There's no stain on your face. It's all great, right? As long as you're aware that the stain is there, then I'm cool with letting you have it, right? But this is where I get into trouble when I go to, let me relate that to soul winning, right? Is when people don't believe, right? Well, then that makes me motivated to show you that it is true, right? And it's just going to motivate me more and more because I know that I can show you stuff that'll show you that it's true. However, if somebody told me, hey, look, I know that it's true, and I realize that there's consequences for me going against it, and I'm willing to just take my chances, I mean, I would have to respect that, right? What can I do, right? Their free will outranks my mission, right? But like, if someone's telling me they don't believe, they don't believe they have a stain on their face, right? Right? And I'm telling them, yeah, you do. You got to wash it off, right? No, I don't believe it's there. I'm like, no, but it is there. Look at this mirror. And like, no, I don't even look at mirrors no more. You know, and it's like this is where I'm stuck, right? Like, I want it to be fair for everybody. I want everybody to know the truth. It bothers me when people are outside thinking that they're on a spinning ball. They came from a monkey, right? A fish grew feet somehow and started running around, right? Rain clouds and lightning produce life somehow. Like, yeah, it bothers me when people believe that, right? When it's not true, because I don't want the powers that be, right, to make a fool of you. If you said, hey, look, I know that I'm on a flat stationary plane, and I don't care. Well, hey, fair enough. You know it. I don't need to prove it to you, right? And then we can move on with our discussion. But see, someone brought it up to me in this way, right? Where if your spouse or significant other is cheating on you, and your best friend comes up and says, look, your significant other is cheating, and your first reaction is, no, I don't believe it, because it's hurtful, right? But deep down, every time your friend comes and tells you that it's real, and you say that it's not, that it's real deep down inside. Wouldn't it just be better to tell your friend, yeah, I know that it's happening, and I'm just okay with living with that, But it's like what we're running into is people that they don't want to accept the truth, and they want us to leave them alone, when it's like, yeah, I want to leave you alone too, right? I do. But if I care about you, right, I also want you to know the truth, And it's weird because, we're the ones telling them the truth, but yet we're the ones that are crazy, right? you know. And do I mind being called crazy by this world? No, not at all. Do I mind being hated the better I try to be in life? No, I don't, because God told us it was going to be that way, right? I mean, there's a part of my life where, I wasn't a bad guy, but I wasn't a great guy either, right? Where I got, life was easy for me. I just sort of went with the flow, and however people wanted to be, whatever, and I didn't make any waves, right? Life was good. I didn't have to, you know, I didn't need to do anything, right? Everything would have been fine, right? But then you get hit with the truth, right? And you're like, wow, now I feel kind of obligated to tell people what's real, right? Because you almost feel like there's not enough of us out there, right? Like I've seen like very few families where it's like, oh yeah, yeah, me and my pops and my uncle, we're all truthers. Like it's always one guy in a group. And the rest of the group is like, oh yeah, he's a weirdo, he's a conspiracy theorist or whatever, right? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I was watching a video, right, from I don't know, this lady that Cindy Christus sends me. She does studies on Revelation, but yeah, the whole Bible is it's a conspiracy for the elite people, right? Well, everyone was split off from the Tower of Babel. The conspiracy is for everyone to come back together, build the city of Babylon, and in secret hide God from you. And they want to fight God, right? And so, yeah, it's a whole big conspiracy. That's what the Bible is, right? And you got your chosen people that were chosen to bring God to the world. And then I mean, we all know the story from there, right? But everyone's so focused on salvation, right, that we don't think about how everything all started. And there's a lot of confusing things where people want to push it all together into one thing, and it's many different parts, right? Our relationship with God is many different parts. Salvation is one part, our relationship with God is another part, right? Like when they talk about, like, demons believe in God, but they're not going to be saved, right? Well, there's no salvation plan for demons or fallen angels. There's only a redemption plan for mankind, for us, right? And so, like, there are a lot of things that seem confusing, right? And then you're going to get people that want to trap you into questions like, do you believe that God loves everybody? Well, what about this? What about that? And it's all these yes or no questions people try to pin you into when life is full of nuance. And so is the Bible, right? Everything is. There's more to it in life than just this is true and that's not true, or black and white, or whatever, right? There's so much nuance into everything that you can't live life like that. And to try to trap people either way is not right. And to even put labels on people is not right. And so, we live in a world where everybody tries to give you a negative image of their enemy. They want to control that opposition. And we're at the point now where, like, you go to some churches and those are the most evil cats are in there. And when I was a little kid, I used to think everybody that had a Bible was, had they love God and they have my best interest in mind. And now I'm finding out, the more and more that I live my life, is that those are the people that are the most scary, right? Because they wanna try to squeeze you in somewhere, pin you in to yes or no questions that don't even apply to your own life, right? That's not how it works. The Bible's there for you to manage your life between you and God. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because some things are one way, and that's the way it is, and a lot of things aren't. Hey, what's going on, Urban? What's up, Ryan? I'm glad you're here. One Life. I can't remember if I've seen you before. I think I have. I've seen so many people. But welcome. I'm glad you're here. And Darlene, of course, I haven't really seen you here that much, but I've seen you around. And yeah, that's right. Jesus loves everybody. I mean, look how Jesus acted, right? Everyone wanted to stone that girl, and like, yeah, religiously, the church way, right? The stoning was called for, right? And Jesus was like, whoa, whoa, hold up, you know? He was without sin, cast the first stone. You know, I mean, like, look at yourself first, you know, and realize where you're at, you know, because the rules, right? This is what God was trying to express to us, right? The rules are there to benefit you, not to punish you, right? There's rules to protect you and to make life easier for you. You know, don't kill people means that, you know, people aren't going to kill you either. You know, it's for your safety, not to punish you after you do it. You know, that's not what it's all about. You know, and so to you know, to use the rules in that way, right? You're losing the whole spirit of the rule. You know, and you know, it's just it's crazy. It's like how they were like so strict about the Sabbath day. They were so strict about you can't do, you know, telling Jesus himself he couldn't heal people on the Sabbath day. And he's like, yeah, but the Sabbath day should be recognized, right? But it was created for you. You know, the the rest was created for you to worship me. You know, like it's not the other way around. It wasn't created for another rule for you, like to be a burden on you. You know, if your goat falls in a hole, get your goat out of the hole, is what he's saying, or a sheep, or whatever he was saying. You know, but I hate paraphrasing. I wish I had a good scripture guy up here. I wish I could do all that at once. But next week, um, I'm going to be able to at least like, you know, move some resources to where either I could get like a cheap computer or like a really nice phone maybe to do more, you know. And so of course I'm doing the best that I can. I want you guys to know that, you know. Oh, is he here? Oh man, why do people got to be here and act crazy, you know? Are there people here acting crazy? All right. Well, you know, it is what it is. But I put down the link. Does anybody want the link? I mean, like, I don't know. It's like I don't want like any like huge like in-depth you know, wear me out type Bible debates or anything like that. I just, you know, any new truths that are out, any things to look out for. Hey, what's up, Rasta? Um, or any like you know, your story, how you got to where you're at, you know, what the truth movement did for your spiritual life. It says because of all the lies all my life, it's impossible for me to give my trust to Jesus. A lot of people are going through that. And it's hard. It's hard. Like if you're not a Christian to start out, right? And you find out everything's a lie, right? It's very hard, right? This is what I'll say, right? Even if you've been a truther for a long time, even longer than me, who knows, right? It's not even about that. If you really want to find out, right? There are rabbit holes to go down, right? And you will be able to know for yourself that it is true, you know? And one thing that steered me um, in the direction of which God is the right God, right? Which is really a rabbit hole I didn't want to go down, you know? It was uncomfortable. But all the evil seems to be lined up with this Satan, you know? And there's a lot of other things with that mark of the beast on it that, you know, the mark of the beast is only found in Revelation. And then you find out that the beast is named Apollyon, and you see all the moon missions or Apollo missions, right? Our Statue of Liberty is really a statue of Helios, right? So we basically have the Antichrist statue in New York and moon missions with the Antichrist name. And, you know, we have a big obelisk, right? A big middle finger to God in our nation's capital. And so you start, and then especially what are the dimensions of the Washington Monument, you know, and you see how many feet across and how many feet high it is. Those things aren't coincidence, you know. You see all those sixes in there, and it's yeah. I mean, so here's the thing, Rasta, right? Like at the Tower of Babel, right? Right at the Tower of Babel, people were split up, right, and had different languages, right? And so there were all these different languages for the same deity, right? So like at that time, the climate for the world was that everyone was against God, right? And everybody would have their own way of saying Nimrod at that time, or you know, that's where you get like Zeus and Apollo and all these different gods that are like the same entity with a different name, and they all have like a Messiah coming, right? That even predates Christianity. But what people don't realize, right, is that nothing predates God, right? And Jesus was always prophesied, even from the first page of the Bible, you know? And so everybody knew that there was going to be some kind of, um, some kind of Messiah coming to save everybody, right? It just didn't come in the way that at that time the Jewish people were expecting, you know, and they rejected him, you know. Yeah, these vax. Yeah, I mean, I don't even like to say the word, but that potion, man. As soon as they take the as soon as they, well, see, and also I think that these other gods, right? These other gods were also like, you know, real spiritual things to connect to, right? Like the fallen angels, right? I mean, nobody talks about. I mean, now we all talk about Genesis 6, right? Because it's humongous with all the fallen angels and stuff like that, right? But like, you'll have like people connected to spiritual entities that are real, very real, you know, and you know, it's sad that it is the way it is, right? Because that it would be much harder to get them, you know, away from that into God, right? But I mean, you have to respect, like, if somebody knows what's going on, right, and knows the truth, right, and they make a decision for themselves, right, to choose to do something else, then that's up to them, you know. But I mean, if you really look at, if like, there's ways to research all this stuff, right, and you know, like, I mean, you can know these things for yourself. I mean, I don't know how I know that you probably don't have like a a great opinion of Rob Skiba, and you know, he's not my favorite person either, but he has done some pretty good research in that area. You know, so if you can look past his, like, you know, I think he's okay, but I know a lot of people have an issue with him. Oh, my friend is texting me, and he's he might be in trouble. Let me see. Oh, it's very nice of him to say that. Oh, it's very nice of him to say that to me. Yeah, I have a friend that's not doing so well. He's in California, but he's not doing well, and he's like scared, you know. And I'd like to just get him to where he needs help, you know, to where he can get some help. And I'm having a hard time convincing him, but like, at least he trusts me, and I've known him for about 10 years, and so, you know, I've, he's a veteran too. I talked to him over there, and yeah, I mean, everything was created by God, right? Top to bottom, right? So, yeah, and yeah, well, yes, the Genesis 6 account, right? That's what people don't, um, I think that carries way more weight, right? Like, I mean, you, you got to understand that there's these beings, right, that are made of a better chemistry than us, right? That, you know, are better than us in every way, right? They get one chance to fail, right? And they're out, right? There is no redemption plan for them. Like Jesus was, you know, he came for us, right? And you know, the angels, they're done. They fell one time and they're done, right? And so now we got these beings that are superior than us on earth released, right? After they've been chained up for, I don't know, 4,000 years, right? And then you get to where technology just took all these leaps forward, right? That's probably when they got out. And you know, you got all these superior beings on earth, right? That don't like us, right? Because there's redemption for us. We get to fall a million times and you know, we get forgiven over and over and over again, right? And you know, they get deceived by Satan, they fall one time and it's over, you know. Now, I'm sure that, you know, they knew what they were giving up in all of that, you know. Yeah, I get it what you're saying. Entities is the wrong word. I get what you're saying. Deity, yeah. Well, I mean, in the Bible they call it Elohim, right? Anything that can exist between here and there, right? Spiritual creatures is an Elohim, right? And you know, there's one Elohim that is the most high, which is God, right? But like there was a lot of Elohim that were not God, right? Like that, especially when I think it was when the angels visited Lot, I think, in Sodom and Gomorrah, and you know, everybody wanted to get at those angels, you know. Those were Elohim, you know. And so there was a lot of times where, you know, angels and people mixing together is just not good, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who. You know what? Like with all the trolls out there, you know, it's like I try not to get involved in any more stuff because, like, you know, I start. Um, as soon as I get involved with that, right? It's like it just brings more grief, right? And it's like when people speak about me, like trolls speak about me, they're so opposite of what is real, right? It's so inverted, right? That it's not something I could jump on and like, oh yeah, you got this and this wrong, and let's clear it up, you know, man to man, and we'll be, you know, we can work something out. It's always something that's so far off that it's like, does this person want to be reasonable in the first place, or are they just saying the one thing that they think will hurt me, you know? And yeah, it's like it sucks, man, you know. But what are you gonna say, you know? I mean, there's things I got to talk about on this channel that aren't easy to talk about, but other men probably want to know, right? That they're, you know, that there's options, right? To like live in sexual integrity, right? Not date people, right? Well, I'm not saying I stopped that because of any reason. I just stopped dating and it helped my life because during that time of raising my kids, I had sexual integrity. You know, I wasn't dating all these women or having casual relationships, and so that helped me. And so for some people to say I'm a freak for that, like, well, then oh well, man. I mean, you know, I got to live my life, man. And if there's other men that want to know that that was helpful to me, well, then, you know, that's the way it is. But trolls want to, you know, take that and like make something out of it, a whole narrative, like whatever, you know. I'm not, because I'm not telling other people they got to do it, you know. I'm just saying it's something I did, right? And so whatever, you know. You think I like talking about that? I don't like talking about that, but it is what it is. It's weird. It's weird hearing the my mom call me. Are you? Do I get cut off when my phone rings? Because I could turn that off. It's up to you guys. Yeah, she's calling me while I'm live. You know, I don't know why everyone wants to call me when I'm live. I'm gonna put on my do not disturb or whatever. It's gonna mess me up. as soon as I go live, right, I get a million phone calls from everybody, right? And so I just put on so I don't get any Skypes or calls. That's usually what I do when I go live. But in the morning, I have a routine that I don't think about what my routine is because it's so routine. And it's yeah. I'm sorry that that's happening to you, man. That there's some bashing going on and all that. I mean, there's really nothing I can say at this point, right? I got involved with it only because, like, I care about the other person, right? I want, them to have a good life too, right? And it gets to a point where you're like, well, obviously they don't care about themselves to let me help them. So, I don't care enough about it uh, to want to go stop it from happening. Whatever. I mean, that's just life, right? I mean, what are you going to do? It's obviously not true. And anybody with any discernment would know that. So, and the people that don't have discernment enough to tell, then I'm kind of glad they're not here, as part of the group. Because I don't know how you could not tell. And so it's sad. All I could do is be here to collect people, right? Because that's what I do. I collect people, right? Because they're worth something, right? People have value, right? I collect people that have been hurt or have need some healing, right? And I don't mind being that place for people to heal. I've told some of my subscribers, I told one of my subscribers that I would stream 3 hours a day if they would come out of there, you know? And this was before I was the enemy of the world, right? Like, it's long before, you know, I I went against that. Because, I mean, if you guys remember, just before all the crap, there was like a big hero video about me, like, oh yeah, we killed 3 zombies in one thing, and oh, it was all God was involved, and this is a good man, blah blah blah. And as soon as I wasn't going along with that, right, then I'm the worst thing ever, blah blah blah, and then a bunch of stuff that's obviously not true. So who cares, man? Hey, so hey, AJ, you want to come on? Yeah, and that's what's crazy, man. Is Oh yeah, you're definitely right on that. God does not like sexual sin. You're darn right about that. That is one thing that God does not like. And so if you're not married, you shouldn't be having it. And that's the way it is. But that your life is your life. I mean, I'm so dedicated to God right now, right? That, like, if I was to be with another person again, right, another woman, right, she would have to love God as much as me. And then not only that, but she'd have to love my kids too. That's a lot to put on somebody's plate. And so, I'm okay with the fact that, like, I love God and I like hearing the Bible and reading the Bible every day. That's what I do for fun. I don't watch movies or listen to music or anything like that. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to do, right? Do what you want to do, right? And I go to people's chats where there's stuff going on, and I'm part of it, right? I'm not any better than anybody else. I'm just saying naturally, I just stopped doing it for some reason. And the reason I listen to audio Bible for hours a day is because I like it, not because I want credit for work or credit for what I'm doing. Like, that's the least thing that I want. Is if if people like me for any reason, I want them to like me for how much I love God. Like, other than that, like, I don't like it. That's not the important part. The important part is for me, and it's so hard for me to even say something nice about myself. But I like when people say nice things, I accept it because I believe that what they're saying is true. Like I believe you know the people I'm around a lot, but like it's very hard to accept a compliment, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. A lot of you, where it's like uncomfortable to even accept gifts on birthdays and stuff. Like there's something inside of us, right? The people like us, right? That we're just kind of embarrassed by that, you know? And so it is what it is, right? And see, everybody's at a different stage, right? So you might be on your way to, uh, say, taking care of something in your life, right? You're working on it and doing your best, and someone might be already there, right? Um, uh, Already taking care of that part of their character. It doesn't make them better or worse than you, right? You guys are both the same. You guys are both working on it. And so I understand that there's people at different, you know, um, different areas of the spectrum. It doesn't make them better or worse, you know? And so, yeah, there's givers and takers in this world. There's some people, right, that when they're talking to you, because like, you know, like when you talk to people and you can like feel for your own feelings and you feel for them, like if you make them feel bad, you know. Well, there are some people that they don't feel for you at all. They and don't care. Like they don't like if they can make millions of dollars by like screwing you somehow on some real estate deal, right? They will do that, and then that's like a savvy thing to do for them, a business deal or something. Where if one of us did that, we would feel bad for doing that, for being unfair, you know. And we all have different, we're all of us are willing to do more or less or whatever that takes us to get to that place where we feel convicted. But I wouldn't feel right if I knew that I was like say like I'm buying a house and I knew that I was paying like 20 grand less than it is really worth. Like I'd rather that they knew they were doing that. Like, are you sure that you want to sell something for that price, that much price lower? And then if I would tell them I appreciate it and it would help me if they kept it like that, and be honest, right? Because then they get credit for doing the favor for you instead of you burning them, and then you have to live with that, whether you think so or not. Every time you do something wrong, you got to live with that. And whether you feel bad about it right away, it's still part of your brain. Every time you look at your house, you'll know how you got it. And so, yeah, those things add up. And what's not talked about enough, I think, right, is that, people say, okay, when you take medicine, you get these effects, right? Well, it's the same thing when you eat food. When you eat food, you get certain effects too. Everything you breathe, everything you see, every sound you hear, everything affects you, right? There's sounds that destroy people. I mean, every single variable in life affects you as a being, right? Whether it's spiritual or physically or, whatever, right? And so the less things you're exposed to, um, really, the better off you are. But if you're going to be exposed to things, it's better that it's it's always better to know what it is that you're exposing yourself to. And if you want to do it, then it's up to you, right? But to be aware of it, right? I mean, you should know what's in a tongue if you're going to eat it. Even if you can't pronounce it, it's good to be aware of what you're putting into your body, right? And it's good to be aware of what's in medicine before you take it. And it's good to be, not that I'm giving any medical advice. I'm just saying as a person, that's what I would do. I would just make sure what's in it before I eat it. Someone put green stuff on my plate, like some kind of a scoop of salad or something, right? I'd be like, well, what's in this salad? I wouldn't just eat it. I mean, unless like, obviously it's somebody I love or whatever, but I'd still kind of ask them if I didn't know. This is good. What's in it? You know? Yeah, because how do you know? Like, how do you know there's not something in there that could harm you? And so for people that just, you know, oh, I'll just take whatever they're giving me, whatever, jab or whatever that they're giving me and not care what's in it or know ever, that's frightening to me. And then they think I'm unreasonable for wanting to know what it is, and what it claims to do. And so I'll say this, right? If you remember the Tuskegee experiments, right? Like between 1930, I think, and 1970, like for African American people, they weren't giving any um, treatment for syphilis. They were letting them die of syphilis. I mean, this is only 50 years ago that our government did that, right? They admitted to it, right? So why is it unreasonable to be suspicious? You know, I mean, they make you out to be some kind of freak, you know, if you ask questions, right? But well, you know, after seeing the way this whole thing was handled, right, with no dissenting opinions anywhere. I mean, on the news, you should have some stories of like somebody that lost their child or somebody that lost a loved one due to this thing, right? Um, you know, the potion itself, but you don't see that. And see, the fact that you don't see it at all is the scary part. Like, why aren't you showing both sides of everything? Are you really scrutinizing people? And see, I know the answer to that question, and they're not. You know, like if you're a reporter, you're not out there uh, trying to get a scoop and figure out a story and then report on it later, right? Like, or else every single news station in the world wouldn't have all the same news. You know, like they get something printed off, and they read it. Yeah, man. Hey, Mr. Gander, how you doing? And yeah, I mean, exactly, man. It's you know, we live in a crazy, you know, society where if you ask questions, you're the crazy one, you know? Or if, you know, I mean, it is so weird, man. That like I like when I would read these things in the Bible, right? I would like I didn't know how it could happen. Like how could people hate you for just being honest or for doing the right thing? Like why would somebody make fun of you for having integrity? Or why would somebody um, pick on you for telling people the truth about their spiritual life, right? You're right, Rasta Hat. That's what they were doing. They were injecting them with the disease, and they admitted to it. There's movies about it, and that's only 50 years ago, right? It was from like 1930 to 1970, something like that, right? And you know, don't quote me on it, but I think that's around when it happened. And so if that's only 50 years ago, and I'm a little suspicious of just you know taking any kind of free potion, right? Like you know, I don't think that's unreasonable. You know, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask. You know, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. What's yeah? I mean, like I mean, real reporters. I mean, maybe when there was newspaper, like you know, and like maybe locally, you would have somebody go find a story and then write about it. Okay, I believe that maybe, but you know, you know, Tom Brokaw's not out, you know, getting a scoop to read on the news that night. Like they print off whatever they're supposed to read and they read it, you know, and they do whatever they have to do to get to those positions, or they're related to who they have to be related to. I mean, it's obvious now that if we see something on the news, they want us to see it for a reason to get us to act in a certain way, you know, and you know, it's sad, man. It's programming, right? It's just that's what it is. It's all programming, and they tell you what it is, you know. And so, like my mom was telling me that when she was a little girl, when polio was out, right? Now I don't know whether you believe in that or not, right? But when polio was the thing, like they would, you know, they all had to line up and eat their sugar cube, you know, so that they wouldn't get polio, right? Well, if this whole thing was real, wouldn't they be doing it like that? Like, okay, kids, line up, get your medicine. You know, they wouldn't even ask you if you wanted to do it or not. They would just give it to you. You know, and so and for kids to be the last people to get the potion, it's like, man, don't I mean, wouldn't they be the most infectious of all of us, just because of all the variables, how much they touch, their face, or they touch each other and all that. And every time I've gotten sick, right? Like when I had my kids like around me, and when I was in the army, every time I got sick, it was always from them, from getting it from daycare, you know? And so, I don't know. I don't know how it's weird, man. With all these algorithms, right? I used to think that that was BS, like a way for them to get to censor ourselves, right? And so I just would just say whatever I wanted and just let it fly. And I did eventually get a strike from let me see right here. I don't know if you guys can see my screen or whatever. Okay, okay, I'll fix it. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, who knows anymore? I don't even know what I was talking about. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore because I was looking at a message. My mom is sending me like a ton of messages for some reason, and I have no reason. I don't no idea why. I mean, nothing's wrong. It's like something about a payment. Something about a payment didn't go through, but I have like a lot of time to make that payment. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy, man. Yeah, with this algorithm thing, yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it? Yeah, they did send me a strike. They sent me one for you're not supposed to give people advice about their health or something, like medical advice or something. And so, I mean, I mean, the way they uh you know the way they took how what I said, I guess, but that's not my intention. That wasn't my intention. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, because I don't even know what to tell people anymore because, you know, I've had two friends die of some weird lung stuff, man, that's in a pretty close amount of time, right? It's like, so who knows? Like, all I know is that, if you look into Koch's postulates, right, and study that process of isolating a virus, and if you read Event 201, and if you read ingredient for ingredient what's in the potion and how long it takes to approve those things and what they're supposed to test it on, right? If you read all that stuff, right, and you still want to take it, right, then go ahead. But if you haven't looked at any of that stuff and you take it, then I would say that that's frightening to me. That's frightening to me that people don't want to, like, you don't even want to check, like. Oh man, screw that. Because there's always some movie being made about, oh, back in the day, man, they just did it, and now we got this situation. Yeah, all those people back in the day, it was so sad. Like you're gonna hear those types of stories, right? And yeah, the Lord's gonna come back soon because as soon as the stink of sin reaches heaven, right? He's gonna come, and it's probably up there. It's probably up there right now. Yeah, I mean, it's all claims, man. It's all claims. I would say, hey, just research everything, and don't believe me. Go know for yourself, because maybe you'll read everything and you'll feel okay, confident taking it. I'll tell you what, the more I look into it, the less I want to take it. So if that tells you anything, then it is what it is. Go watch a video by, there's a name that's easy to remember, Dr. Andy Kaufman. Hey, what's going on, Sacramento Truth Movement? I saw some of your videos, right? And I liked some of your stuff. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, I know end time teachers, right? A little bit, right? And, he seems like a good guy, I guess. He's not a friend of mine, I wouldn't say, but he's okay, right? But there's some things that some beliefs that he has that I don't share, right? And so, like, this is a channel about Jesus and about the Bible being true and about, salvation being for everybody that chooses to be saved, right? Anybody that goes to Jesus for salvation, right? It's for everybody, right? Saved by faith in Jesus Christ, right? And so, if you feel the same way, right, about Jesus, right, well then, I would like to have you on the show, man, because I like your work, man. I would be honored, to be honest. And yeah, like I was kind of friends with Mind of God for a while, and we had some really good shows about the Book of Revelation. He was a very smart guy, but he's got some pretty uh, far out doctrine too. And yeah, it's I've seen a couple of your videos, yes, and I like them, and like I think you do good work, but you know, yeah, I mean, if you're like them in the sense of what their doctrine is, like, then I'm not interested in that, right? But like, if you want to come on and talk about like truth stuff, and if if I mean, I mean, I hate to say it, but the road has to be narrow as far as like spiritual stuff over here, because we're getting at the end, near the end times, right? And it's like it's time to like it's time to get right. I mean, we have to know the a life saving message, the truth, And so, yeah, I mean, if your idea of salvation is the same, right? Which is the truth, right? If your faith in Jesus and what He did on the cross is how we're saved, and that's how we get salvation, then that's fine. But if it's that kind of weird doctrine that they do, then I'm not into that, because it ends up being a debate with like kind of the wrong spirit. It's the spirit of like trying to trap you into some kind of thing. And I've had like a small conversation over there, and I did okay, but it's like it's not the Holy Spirit. Like the Holy Spirit doesn't answer questions like that. It's like you get you. It's like that's like what the Pharisees do. They try to trap you in some kind of question. Like like there's more nuance to things than just yes or no. But yeah, man, I'd like to have you on one of these days. Would you like to come on, Sack Truth? I'd be cool with that. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Well, I mean, if you read the Bible, right, the whole narrative as a story, right, like Abraham was chosen, right, to bring, you know, God to everybody, right, in the world, right. The world was split up because everyone was against God, and God chose Abraham, right, 100-year-old man, that and his wife was barren, right, to be the people, right, to bring God to the world. I mean, it's simple, right? But what happens is people get caught up in these learning these verses, right, that say what they want, right, and then they try to trap you into some kind of debate, right? And so, like, while I do fine in those debates, right, like, it's not that I'm not like, smart enough to hang with it. It's just that it's exhausting, man. It's exhausting. And so, yeah, I'm not like they might have their little narrative. I'm scared of something or whatever. And to tell you the truth, I don't really mind that. The young guy, he was all right. I mean, I don't know him, but okay, your name is Jay. Okay, no, I just said Sack Truth. I didn't know your name was Jay. I don't know where that came from. Maybe someone else called you Jay. I don't know. But there's a lot of people here that have been here for a long, long time, like truthers that have been here for a long time. Oh, what happened? Did I just? No, did I do something to I hope I didn't hey Ross, I didn't ban you or nothing, did I accidentally? Here I am pressing things. No, 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 you're good. Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, not everyone has to agree to be here, right? But it's like I have a responsibility to bring the truth to the people that trust me, and so like, if people want to know how to get salvation, I have to say what I know to be the truth, right? And so, yeah, to have like debate about that or whatever. I'm not interested in all that. And I've even had people go over to that channel if they want to go over there and hang out and learn or whatever. If they want that kind of life, then that's on them, right? And I know there's a guy that comes here. I don't know if Joel's still here, but he's been over there and debated those guys or whatever. And so it's fun. I mean, it's all in fun. I mean, the young guy's respectful to me. The T-Mog, I mean, we were like, I thought, I mean, we were like friends. I mean, I liked him a whole lot, and but we kind of got real serious about salvation, and it's a serious topic, and we didn't see eye to eye, and we couldn't agree on it, and so I don't know. He started making all these hit pieces of things I never said, so I don't know. He's kind of crazy in that way, but he's a smart guy. I'll give him that. And the other guy, I don't know him really that well, so can't tell you anything about that. But if I could count on, how many, I can't even count on both hands how many times we get attacked here, and so it is what it is, Nathan from, yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's his name. I mean, he's a young guy and he seems to be pretty respectful. He says some off the wall things, but I don't know enough in detail about that. It's some pretty. Anytime you would read the Bible in a way to intentionally exclude people, when that's not what it's about. So you're going to go up to somebody that doesn't know the scriptures as well as you, and then tell them something that's not true. To me, that's probably the worst thing you could be. Now, I don't know, right? Like, people can make up their own mind, right? And I especially don't like people that harm other people either. I'm not saying that they do that, but anybody that would harm anybody physically in any way, right? I don't like people like that either, really. But it is what it is, right? Life is what it is, and I just try to do my best, right? And so whenever so like I'm usually on in the mornings, 7 a.m. our time, right? And so yeah, whenever you want to do it. Tomorrow I'm gonna go on at 7 in the morning and every day after that. So just like if that's something you want to do, then yeah, we'll do that. I don't have long hair. I don't think. Why? What are you saying, Sasquatch? I don't have a problem with long hair. I mean, what? I never thought about it. Oh, you want to jump on? Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah, AJM. All right, yeah. Let me click you. Oh, AJ, is this really you, man? This better be you, man. If it's not you, then I'm gonna be upset, man. Okay.
Jump
All right.
in about 5,
Hey
10
AJ,
minutes.
what's up?
Okay,
Is this
bro.
AJ? Is this AJ?
Yeah, it's AJ.
All right. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah. Give me
You
10
almost
minutes.
had me tripping because I didn't want to add you to the show.
Did
What?
you see the name I put up?
Yeah.
Look at the name I put up.
Yeah, I did. That's why I didn't want to click it.
I'm gonna.
I know what it says,
change
man.
it. I know I'm gonna change it. Then it was just a little silly joke, anyway. Give me 5, 10 minutes.
What are you doing,
right
man?
Back. No, honestly,
this was a good stream, man. This was a good stream.
Have I corrupted it now?
Yeah, put like put like Israel first or something like that.
I couldn't put a rainbow flag in there, fella. Honestly, I was looking for a rainbow flag and I couldn't find one. No, I'll tell you what. I'll leave what I was gonna.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, that's right.
Go on.
No, just leave it. Who cares, man? Who cares? I don't care. Leave it.
No, I'm saying
whatever you want to do. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right, fella. Go on.
How are the youngins, man? How are the kids doing?
Yeah, I've seen my middle lad today. He's doing okay. Be running around with them as, children do. They drive you mad. But they're the love of your life, aren't they? So, gotta have a child to understand that. I could say that to a certain person, but I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, I mean, it does no good, It's like this is what's hard, right? Is when you know the truth, or when you know something that could be helpful for somebody else, right? And you've applied it to your own life, right? And you're like, okay, this worked for me, and it's working for a lot of people, and it's the right thing, right? Even when you go up to a person with the best of intentions, right? Like, just because you want them to be better too, and feel the joy you feel inside, right? There are going to be people that are going to hate you for trying to help them.
Yeah, it's like, the example I could give to what you're saying is, you could be out at the supermarket, or you could be out at the general store. You could be anywhere, at a restaurant, anywhere. And exactly what you're trying to put across and say about, being nice, being polite. Well, we're in this world now, but you can say a certain thing out in open, and a certain atmosphere or whatever, and a certain person might take what you've just said wrong, and then all mayhem starts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just,
well, doesn't it say in God's word that many would be offended in the last days?
Well, it's looking that way, isn't it? Because
it is.
The way we're all we know what's going on, Stephen. We know Hollywood and the media and politics, and we've all, many in chat have most probably done their own research on, and to me, in my life, the only answer is coming to Christ, and that's it. There's nothing, to me, there's nothing else in this world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, God, God. Okay, look, God wants us to love Him with all of our heart, right? And God wants us to treat each other right with love, right? Love your neighbors, you love yourself, right? So, love God, love your neighbor, right? Take care of the things that were given to you to be responsible for. Your kids, your money, whatever you were given to be responsible for. Take care of that stuff, right? And then try to be reasonably happy. I mean, if everybody knew when they were born, right? Okay, this isn't everything. We all, we all live here. Let's all just we get an equal piece of everything, right? Everyone just share, and if you want to eat fruit, then you're gonna have to work in the to get the fruit down and to prepare it, or you have to work over with the meat or whatever, right? You got to do your part, right? And we'll pull together, and then we move on to the great life, right? But because of the lies and the rejection of the truth over and over and over again, since we've been alive since way before us, right? Now we're in this mess, and we got to deal with it.
Well, it's yeah. Well, it is. At the end of the day, you either believe. I keep saying this. There's only two things, isn't it? There's either Darwinism and Big Bang, or there's creation. There's only two things. And I keep saying, if anybody's got another idea, come up with it. I'd like to hear it. But to me, there isn't. It's either creation or a Big Bang and Darwinism and evolution nonsense. So, so you've got the Luciferian, the satanic world, and then you've got the Christian world that know the truth. And it's going to come to a head. It's going to come to this, People don't understand that it is going to come to a head eventually. Right. I mean, you think the Protestant Reformation in the 1500s was bad? You don't know what's coming.
Well,
honestly, in my heart, in my opinion, people just haven't got a clue what's coming. Whether we are the last generation, I don't know. But these young children are my grandchildren. I've got two grandchildren, and I'm thinking, God, God forgive me, but I hope it doesn't even happen to them. Maybe it goes on to the next generation. It's just, I know we're all wanting Christ to come. I know we're all wanting that to happen. Even in my heart, my heart says that. But I've got to live my life as much to the fullness, and try and get these people in my family that are antichrist. Well, I'm not saying antichrist, but just atheists don't believe
I
him.
mean,
You know what I mean? And that's my mission. That's my mission, Steve.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this. We have to get to a point where we're being honest. Now, I like what you said, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's for real. If they're not with Christ, they're against him, right? But this is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Even people we love, right? The people I love to death, right? But here's the thing, right? There's two things happening, right? There's three things happening. There's people got split off from the Tower of Babel. They want to come together and build Babylon and do it on their own better than God, right? That's what they think is going to happen, right? There's people trying to do that. There's people that are following Christ, and then there's people in the middle, right? That either were lied to or they were deceived by something, right? And they don't really know, right? And that's the biggest majority of people, right?
Well,
so
Steve,
it's all about trying to reach those people and tell them, hey, look, what you believe right now might be something that you're benefiting from, right? But it's in the end, it will not help you, and you will go in the lake of fire. That's what is going to happen. And I trust me, I want to tell you that it's just my belief or it's just something that I think or whatever, and that you might be right. Of course, I want to tell you that, but that's not it. It's you will go in the lake of fire if you don't, get saved. And it's not really that difficult of a thing to do. It's grace. It's a gift of grace by God. He punished himself. He doesn't even want to punish us.
I'm going to take it back, Steve. I'm going to take it back to the Tower of Babel now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to take it back to the Tower of Babel. You mentioned the Tower of Babel earlier.
Yeah.
Right. And basically, the Tower of Babel in the 21st century is basically CERN. And people can't see that. It's inverted.
It is.
The Tower of Babel, what they were trying to do. The tower wasn't just a tower to reach heaven. It was the technology, what they had at the time to do it. And they couldn't do it to break the veil. Basically, the Tower of Babel was what they had from the fallen in that generation to reach up to the heaven and break the veil. And they failed. And basically, CERN is the same thing in the 21st century, what's trying to do, break through.
Well, I mean, this is okay. This is the way I looked at that, right?
That's only my opinion,
No, right. But but you're right. But this is, I'm not saying you're wrong, but this is how I looked at that, right? Is that, because I don't know how many levels of deception, what's real, what's not real, like scientifically, right? Like what is an atom, like anything like that, like beyond any of that discussion, right? Which we probably could get into, right? But like CERN seems like if they're talking about atoms and smashing atoms, it's breaking reality at its smallest point, trying to end the world before the punishment, trying to just uncreate it, right? To not have to deal with the punishment, right? Now it could be that symbolically, right? And then of course you got NASA Outer Space Fantasyland, right? That is like trying to give you this fantasy of all this flying around in outer space, and to try to get your like people want to go explore things and find things out, right? Like instead of having them go find the edge of the darn earth or the firmament, right? They hey, go upwards to find everything, right?
It's like I mean, have you ever studied the Fibonacci sequence?
About what? I'm sorry.
The Fibonacci sequence, the Fibonacci number.
Oh yeah, the golden number or whatever.
Yeah, the golden number, and and it's basically in nature. So it's basically how can I put this? I mean, it was already there in nature anyway, and basically he sussed it out. But I mean, the point I'm trying to make here about Fibonacci is some people might like it, but I'm not even going to bother saying it. So
what about the ether and all that, or what? Like what?
Well, there's a lot of stuff, but you say things on YouTube, and then you get people start attacking you. So a lot of the time, I keep the things to myself.
Well, there's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things.
The only thing I will talk about is I'll be openly about Jesus, but any other of these so-called people in history and what they've mentioned and what they've
Yeah, because how do we know? How do we?
exactly. That's what I mean, Steve. It's
How do,
only what we're told and what we read, and
I mean,
through
how do we
history.
know, right? Like
Yeah,
look at Einstein, right? Like he comes up with a bunch
yeah,
of gibberish,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Gibberish,
perfect
right?
example,
But
Steve.
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Okay, they say there's this guy, right? And a lot of people seen him, whatever. Okay, so okay, they say he's smart. They give him a trophy in front of everybody, right? Oh, this is a smart guy. Look here, we're giving him a trophy. Look, he's the best guy, right? And everything he says is changing the world, right? I mean, you can prop anybody up and say, and and when people see the world giving people trophies and stuff, like I want to be like that guy, or I want that trophy too,
Well,
or that's
the
how the
thing
world
with
is set up. We're not like
see,
that, but that's how
I
the
know,
world is. They want the
Steve. But
trophy.
the thing with Einstein, though, he kept all the skirts in the closet, though.
Yeah, but really the only thing, anyway, you can get into a lot of that stuff, like a lot of stuff, well, of
I
course he married
know.
his cousin,
Go,
right?
that
Yeah.
is one rabbit hole. You,
Right, right,
that's
right,
that's a
right. But
rabbit
like,
hole, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But here's the thing, right? Like, how do we know anything before us was true, right? Like, it would be like some rabbit holes are fun to go down, right? But is it a waste of time? Is it a
I
waste
will
of
agree.
time,
Yeah,
right?
I will
Like
agree with that one.
at a certain point, you have to realize that history, right, is really the mainstream news of the past.
Yeah. Whoever
So
controls the past
so
controls the future, and
yeah,
whoever controls the future,
so
yeah.
right. Listen, right? So 100 years from now, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, there was this big plague. It wiped everybody out." Blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah.
And it's this. They're gonna be talking about this, and we know what it is, right? But in history, it's gonna go down the way they say it is. But anyway, hey, I want to round out because we're down to 5 people. That means that we're not really holding anybody.
Must
But
be boring them.
yeah. Hey, Chow. God
Nah.
bless you. But
Ciao. And
yeah. No, I just
Cindy, ciao. And
yeah.
stop the traffic, Rasta.
Yeah,
He's
nobody
a
wants
good
to hear
guy.
us talk.
Rasta always used to go on with Abidjan and have a good chat with
Oh
Abidjan
no,
and that.
hey, I'll tell you what,
I
like
used to like
Rasta.
Rasta. He's a
No,
decent
I
guy.
do like. Hey, I still do like Rasta. He's a smart guy. He's just,
Yeah, good
it's
lad.
it's hard to get a point through to him sometimes, but he's a very smart guy if you talk to
And
him.
Chow.
You
I
know?
like Chow's always in Polish. He's a
Yeah,
decent person.
I think I held
Yeah.
people too long.
There's loads of
Here's
there's loads of them. There's
right, but
loads of people.
here's the thing, right? Like I know that I can hold an audience for like 45 minutes, right? Like pretty good. Like, I
Well,
can
you've
hold
done
20
well tonight,
people.
Steve. You've done very well,
But
mate.
but once I get to that limit, right? Uh if something crazy or drama isn't happening or something, then it'll dwindle down. And so what I like to do is like go out on a high moment, right? To where it's not
Yeah.
like there's one person in chat or
Yeah.
something, right?
I know what you mean. Yeah. It's
That's a
good.
hard
Yeah.
pill.
I
That's a
know.
hard pill to swallow when you're the last one
I
left,
know.
That's
Somebody about it, fella.
but I'll tell you what, and trust me, there's a lot that we could be talking about right now that
Oh,
could
tough on,
really be
mate.
they could be shaking the shoes off of people about people that we know and certain people
Well,
that are saying
so
certain things.
we choose not to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? We choose
Yeah,
not to talk about them.
we,
So
eh,
why
but
bring it up? You know what I
hey,
mean?
but if we talked about everything, we'd have 50 people in the chat
We'd
at least.
we'd have more than we'd have
Yeah,
about 200 in chat, mate. If I started
yeah.
talking
I,
shit, mate,
I
excuse
got,
me. Honestly,
I
Steve.
got, I got more than just the clips. Let's put it that way.
No, you know.
All right, so I'll see you later, my friend. I love you,
All right,
man.
buddy. You take care, fella.
Hey, real love. I love you, man.
I love
And
you
God
too,
bless
bro.
you. God
All
bless
right.
everybody. And, pray for the kids, of course. Pray for everybody, really.
That's
We don't
right.
want anyone to
Exactly.
be hungry or hurt.
Black, white,
And
yellow, whatever color you are,
right.
whatever
And
creed,
mo
just pray for you.
and most of all, right? Most of all, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, because we're going to go on to everlasting contentment, and none of us deserve that, and we're going to get it. And God doesn't lie. He's amazing, right? And so I can't wait to get to a place where I'm in a body that's not going. It's going to be perfect, so I can love God in a perfect way, you know. And
That's
so,
it.
can't
Yeah.
wait for that.
Just believe. Just believe. We're all going to be judged, but if you
Yep.
truly believe in your heart, if you truly believe, you'll get there, but you'll still be judged.
Romans 10:9. It's can't get any more simpler than that. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later, and God bless you, and praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. I'll see you later. Bye.
Later, guys. Good night and God bless.
Tomorrow, 7 a.m.